100% of the days. Here's the thing about ADSY that I'm not going to advertise. I'm not going to throw it out there. I'm not going to shout from the highest mountain. Technically, all the days that I designate ADSY days are the days they fund us for using a different funding formula, but those days are actually optional for a parent. That's a terrifying thing for me to tell parents, well, those days are optional. They really don't have to be here for that. So we're going to try to push that, no, they really need to be here for all these days and sell them on the benefits of what they're getting out of being here for all of this.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Are there any other questions? Mr. Chair, my only question, because Dr. Bro has already mentioned that the sustainability and funding, and you said that the grant was only meant for the planning portion.
The grant was for the planning purposes. It pays for Athena for 2 years. It pays for our consultants. It pays for some other things that we can do with the program to get it up and off the ground. After that, it's funded through the state mechanism and through the school district. Okay, so sustainability will be a thing. That'll be a thing with the next legislature. How are you going to sustain? This was a great idea 2 years ago, pre-COVID. How are you going to continue to fund it moving forward? Because because I'm going to be honest with you, again, I go back to, there's not a district in this world that right now wouldn't want to be doing this and it would want the legislature to defund this or whatever moving forward. All of us are going to need this moving forward in some way, shape, or form.
So when we are talking about programs such as this, the first thing, people think, if I'm extending my days, then how am I being compensated for that? Which brought a question to my mind. You said that the paraprofessional did not have great buy-in into the, as this being...
Yeah, they were just slightly below the teachers and all their answers in the grant. The sample size isn't huge. You're talking, I think 17, 18 people, but it just was slightly off. That it threw me when I looked at it. But in talking to people, without talking back to the paras, some of it just was, they do other things in the summer. They have other jobs maybe. They have other things, or money's not worth it to them to extend out. If they have kids in other districts, then they're going to turn around and pay for daycare while they're working for us and their kids aren't in school and things like that. So I honestly don't have an answer for why their answers were a little bit different, but that was one of them. And one of the things that, HD went around to every campus prior to us, choosing any campus, and he talked to teachers about additional compensation and everything. And the line he kind of would use with people was, if I asked you to teach or work 20 more days or 20, 15 more days a year, all of you would groan and not be for it. But if I was willing to pay you at your daily rate, would you be for it? And that starts to become a significant thing. You heard Charles talk about, retirement and TRS money and everything. If I'm a 15 or 20 year teacher and you're adding 10, 15, 20, 30 days to my contract and you're going to pay me my daily rate, you're talking about a chunk of money that's a nice chunk that if I have other things, let alone the expense of what COVID now, everything is more expensive, but I have other expenses. I have a kid in college. I have a kid getting ready for college. That's kind of some nice money to start thinking about compensating teachers for Athena phrased it best. They're working summer school now, 20-some days for a lot less money. Sure, they'd be willing to work for those days for their teacher rate to do something different and be part of something different.
Okay. So, and that was my concern. How does the paraprofessionals fit into this model as far as the compensation?
Exactly.